how's it going YouTube? Today we're going to have a look at this. This is a new type of thing. I've been doing some CarPlay things before. This is CarPlay and Android again, but this is slightly different because this one clips over your mirror and it literally turns your rear view mirror into a CarPlay stroke DVR kind of thing. So I've been quite interested in looking at these. This one's by Seicane. I've got a couple of these to check out, so we'll do another one a bit later. But this particular one, as I said, it's by Seicane and it's super cheap. On the Seicane website right at this very minute, it's £89 or $109, so it's super cheap. I'm interested in seeing if this is actually any good and seeing what they're like. So this is the box it comes in. Nothing super special, as you can see. So what we'll do is we'll get it out of the box and then we'll go through some of the specs. I've actually got a little power pack with a little 12-volt socket kind of thing. So what we can do is we can power it up on the bench as well and go through a few of the menus. And then once we've done that, we'll take it out to the car, fit it, see what it looks like. First thing you see in the box is we've got the unit itself. You can see as it's switched off, it's a mirror. We've got a little cover on here, so let's take that off first. There we are. It's literally a mirror. So I'm quite interested in seeing, once it's turned on, how well you can actually see the display. What I'll do is I'll stick this to one side for a second, we'll get everything else out of the box. Let's see what you get with it. Right, first thing, manual. We've got some operating instructions here. Power cable. The standard power cable is obviously this type, which goes into your 12-volt socket. To make this a bit more of a quick install thing, it's a pass-through socket as well, so it's got USB charging on the back. Plenty cable to go up and round your windscreen right up to the top. This all plugs into the stereo. USB for power. We've got a camera and an aux, so we'll have a look at that when we go to power it all up. Aux lead, if you're wanting that for your audio. There's two types of audio out on this stereo. One is an FM transmitter and the other type is an audio jack down to your auxiliary plug on your radio. This is another camera cable because we get extra cameras. What we've got is we've got 3 cameras on this system. We've got this one, which is your reverse camera, which goes into this one here. The camera on the back of the system itself, which is your front-facing DVR, and we've also got another camera here which can be installed in the car as an interior camera if you so require it for your fake taxi videos or your real taxi videos. So let's get these bits out of the way and have a look around the main unit. Right, the main unit itself, as you can see, it's a mirror. It's got some straps here that obviously we can unclip and fit around your rear view mirror. So if you fit that around the rear view mirror, that'll hold it tightly and then this will fit over the top. I'm assuming, we'll find out later, that these plugs go on the top with the power button on the bottom. So if we look here, we've got a microphone there for either controlling it with the Siri or the microphone input for the hands-free. It's got some little speaker outputs there for its internal speaker and a power button. On the back, we've got the camera, which is a front-facing DVR. This can be positioned to get it in a convenient spot, depending on how big your rear view mirror is. The main specs of this system is, this is a quad-core 1.5 GHz processor, 11.26 inch display, 1920 by 440 resolution. External micro SD card slot there, which can support up to 128 GB. Front camera, this one is a 2.5K ultra clear. This rear camera is a 1080 HD camera. This internal one is also a 1080 HD camera. There's lots of other boring specifications, but to be honest, they're the ones we're interested in, and this supports wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So I think what we should do now is I should get that little power supply out. I'll put it on the desk here, and obviously you can see how reflective this is. I'm quite interested in seeing how bright this is when you turn it on. Right, I'm going to take this one and plug it into my power supply. Let's take this USB-C, plug it into the top here. As you can see, it's powering up. Right, I think the first thing we need to do with this is we need to connect this to my phone. What we'll try first is we'll try CarPlay, we'll try it on Apple and connect this to the CarPlay, and then let's see what it does. Right, if I go into this Bluetooth, then down to this little Bluetooth setting here, it looks like actually we've got a Bluetooth audio out as well. We'll try that later. If we go to this Bluetooth here, we can see the equipment name. So what I'll do is I'll find that in my phone and connect to it by Bluetooth. There it is, right at the bottom as a new device. So if I click on that, and it's automatically connected now straight into the CarPlay. As you can see there, it looks a bit odd because obviously this is looking at the camera that's on the back. Let's see if I can change this camera to a different camera so we're looking at something else. Right, took me a while, but I've finally figured it out. I've got all three cameras plugged in now. I've got this reverse camera there. Over here, I've got this interior camera, and then obviously on the back, we've got this front-facing camera. Let me just show you something else first. If we go to the home screen, oh, the cat's helping. We've got the recorder there, the first one. On the recorder for your dash cam, this has got the impact recording. If we press this button here, this will switch between the cameras. You've got all three there. Obviously the back one, your reverse camera, and the interior camera. So you can pick which one you want there to look at. There we've got the record. Obviously we press now, I've got no SD card in, so it won't record. Same there as in take a photo. If we go back to home, mobile internet is the CarPlay. So if we go back onto that, which is CarPlay or Android Auto, whichever one you're connected to, half of the screen is the CarPlay, like we've said. The other half is your camera. Currently it's on this one here, which is a front facing. If we swipe sideways, we can change between the cameras. This is a reverse one, and that one is the internal one. So what you can do is if we swipe through, you can leave it on the reverse one all the time. So you've got your rear view camera and the CarPlay stuff. This is your usual CarPlay. I'm not going to go through that. This is the same as it always is for any CarPlay. If we go back to the home screen, let's just have a quick look through these menus. Obviously, as I said, you've got the record one, which is your three cameras. Mobile internet is either your CarPlay or your Android Auto. BT FM, this is the output. This is an FM output for your stereo system. So what you can do is you can set your frequency here. You can find a clear frequency. Set this. This is the transmitting frequency. If it's on FM, then it'll transmit at that frequency. So in the car, if you set your FM radio to match this frequency, it'll pick up whatever's been sent from this. So when it's giving your instructions for your sat nav or something like that, it'll come out your car stereo. We'll have a look at that. Obviously SPK, that's your speaker. So that's coming out this internal speaker here. Auxiliary is for your auxiliary output for that cable we looked at before. Using this cable, you can plug that in there and plug the other end into your auxiliary input in your car stereo in your car. It's got a BT as well, so I'm assuming it might connect CarPlay and the Bluetooth at the same time. So I'm not quite sure how to use that. Obviously there is your Bluetooth settings. You can change the name to whatever you want it to be. Go back to home. Replay, that's for your cameras. It says please disconnect the phone first. We'll leave it connected for now. There is also an app we'll have a look at for remote viewing of all these cameras. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Playback, so if you've got any music or anything on here, on that micro SD card, you can play back your music through here. And obviously that just leaves our settings menu there. Quite a few settings, we'll not go through all of them. Mobile link, you can set whether it's on CarPlay or Android there. CarPlay position, we can either have it left, right or full screen. If we go back out and have a look, obviously we've currently got it right. We can set that to left or front screen or whatever. Go back in, look. Now it's on the left. I'm a right-hand drive car, so I'm probably better off with it on the right, so I can reach it a bit easier. Resolution, that's for this camera on the back here, the front-facing camera. If you want to save a bit of space on your memory card, you can change that to 1080. Loop recording, this is permanently recording. As this is powered on, if you've got a memory card in there, it's permanently recording. So what you can do is you can set the loop to 1 minute, 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So each little saved section will be for this amount of time. Collision sensor, you can set the sensitivity of that. We've got a few more settings here that aren't really relevant. Setting guideline, what this is this for you? This is for your reversing camera, because on this cable that goes to your reversing camera, you've got this red wire here. So if you want it to automatically switch over to this view with these guidelines, if you connect this one here to a positive on your reverse lights, so when your reverse lights come on, this gets 12 volts to it, then what it'll do is whatever you're doing, when you put it in reverse, it'll override and go to this camera here, which will give the guidelines for your reversing. Channel set, this is just for flipping the screens or mirroring, depending on which way you've got your camera up or which way around it is, then you can make it suit then for the three cameras. Generally, I think that is actually bright enough to see it. If I switch it off, you can see how we're straight back into a mirror, and when it's switched on, that overrides it quite well. Obviously it's still a bit mirrored, but that's actually quite bright, because it's pretty bright in this room, to be honest. So what I need to do is I think we need to take this out to the car and we need to test it and see what it's actually like in the car. Actually, before we do that, let's connect to Android and try Android Auto. Not everybody's got an Apple phone, not everybody wants to use CarPlay. This phone's charged up, so let's start. This is a Google Pixel, an old one that I use just for testing these out. We'll get this started up. Let's connect this to Android Auto and see how easy that is. Right, this phone here, try and remember how to use it. There it is, this one at the bottom. Click pair, see what happens. Now I've just realised something else I need to do, because it just says it's looking for Android Auto all the time. I forgot, we need to go into this mobile link and we need to change this from CarPlay to Android Auto. Right, we've connected. I had to cycle the power off on this, so I turned it off, turned it back on again, and as you can see now we've got Android Auto working. Android Auto I always find, as I said, a complete pain the first time. I've found this on all systems. There we are. Now we're into Android Auto there. The difference is what you can see on the Android Auto is it's full screen. We've got no half and half with this. I don't know if we can actually do it. I'll have a play a second. Right, there you are. I've managed to do it. We've got the camera. This is the same. You can scroll through the cameras. We've got the Android Auto on this side. And if I go back to the home screen, I literally went into settings and then CarPlay position, and it's got your left, right and full screen. It was by default set on full screen. So what I've done is I've just clicked left. It restarted the whole device and then instantly came back on again. So now the CarPlay is connecting straight away because it restarted the whole device and it reconnected quite quickly. So it was just that first time was a bit of a pain, but as I said, it always seems to be a pain on Android. I don't know why. It's probably just me not knowing how to use it properly. That's the Android Auto. I'll not go through the Android Auto because anybody that uses it should know how to use this bit anyway. What I will do is if we go back onto the iPhone, just because I know how to use this a bit better, and I'll show you the application for the cameras and then we'll go out to the car. If you go to the market, look for that application, Road Cam. I've already got it downloaded from one of the other Seicane devices. But there you are, look, as soon as it's connected, it's come up with this device. So we can go into the auto preview. If I move it, you can see it's previewing the cameras there. This one here, this lets me switch between cameras. So as you can see there, we've got a live view, and also we've got the video button and the photo button. It says memory card not detected. We can go in and anything that's stored in the memory card, we can pull up in there, we can download it to the phone or do whatever we want with it. So that's the app that you can connect, download any videos straight off of this without removing the memory card and put them straight on your phone. Obviously we need a memory card in first before you can do any of that. Right, so that's the application. Let's go out, let's try this in the car and see what it looks like when it's installed and see if we can see this screen as well as we can see it here on the bench. I'll fit this in this crappy Fiesta. and that's my standard rear view mirror, as you can see there. If we put this over the top, I need to push this camera out of the way just so it can get in the mirror. I'm trying to do this one-handed. I'll strap this in properly. You can see there's the mirror, there's this one that fits over the top, and that's how it looks as a mirror. Let's get it strapped in. It's not actually that much bigger, look, slightly larger, and it covers it quite nice. It just means that little camera at the side there just needs to stick out a little bit so it can get past that. So let me get this strapped in. Let me get the cables in. They're not going to be super tidy because I'm not going to leave this in there because I've got more things that I need to do videos on. So after this video, I'll be taking this out. I will try and tuck it behind here just a little bit, just to tidy it up, just so you can kind of see what it would like if you put a bit of effort into hiding the cables. There we are, that's installed in the car. I've taken the wires up and I've hidden them just behind here just a little bit, just to show you what it could look like. And I think that looks pretty tidy, to be fair. The wires then are just literally just dangling down, and I've got the power plugged in there, look. I've also, the internal camera, I've put it there. The reverse camera, if I zoom in, I've just put it there at the top of the window at the back, with the cable just literally just going right across the seats. One thing I did notice was I had it upside down before, so this front camera is on the left hand side. I've still had to bring it out a little bit, and I've angled it towards the front. When you first power it on, it literally connected straight to my iPhone, came up with the Carplay and started up like it is now. If I go back to the home screen, press recorder, there you are. You can see all three cameras. That one's looking at me. We've got the reverse camera and the front camera there. If I had a memory card in there, that would be automatically recording now. I've been playing with the outputs actually, because obviously you've got three different outputs there. You've got the speaker, the FM and the auxiliary. What I have found is this BT one there. That connects directly to the car. As I'm connected now, look, you can see it's connected via Bluetooth through the car. So my volume and everything, I can control from the steering there. What I've done, oh, that's turned off. Let me turn it back on now, because I've turned my ignition off. As you can hear now, that's on FM. If I go back to this screen there, I've set the FM at 90.5. What you can do is this is set to 90.5. If I press on the FM, click confirm, you can hear it's gone quiet there. So if I go to one of my YouTube videos, the sound from that video and the sound from the phone is coming out of the FM transmitter. It's a bit hissy, it's not the best quality. If you want better quality, what we can do is if we go back to this BT FM, you've got your auxiliary output. Down there was a cable, and we can plug that into the auxiliary output there on the car, and then you've got an aux out. What I have found is this does work through your Bluetooth in the car. So if I connect my phone to the Bluetooth in the car, which it is, I've got my little blue light on there. Then I can press auxiliary. Now I'm connected through the car, so if I press play on here,
we're going to Hayfield.
Now the sounds
there at the Set Valley.
Now the sounds coming through the Bluetooth, and I'm still able to use this for my CarPlay and everything else. So all my sat nav instructions will come now through the Bluetooth, and this is a perfect connection. So everything's now connected to Bluetooth. Let me just stop this video so I'm not hearing my voice twice. Literally that is the best connection you can get. I've got my phone connected to the radio, and it's also connected to this because CarPlay works through Wi-Fi. So this is kind of a Wi-Fi connection to my phone, and my phone is a Bluetooth connection to my radio. So all three are all joined together now. I can use my steering controls for the volume, and I can still see all my sat-nav, hands-free, everything else. I've got my rear camera there. As you can see, it's a little bit reflective, as any shiny screen is, but to be honest, to my eyes, I can see that okay to what I need to see, and it's pretty bright outside at the minute as well, actually. So I'm actually quite impressed with this. If I didn't have other things to test, I would be leaving this in. So that's how it looks. I'm pretty impressed with it, to be fair, and for the price I've said, I think it was it £86 or something like that? It's super cheap, and it literally, it's a way, this car stereo, it's an old system, it's a 2010 car, it's got Bluetooth, but that's it. You can see this holder here, this is where I normally put my phone, and that's got my sat nav and everything on. You can have your navigation and everything coming through there, and use it as a mirror as well. If you want to quickly just turn it off, you've got a mirror just like normal, then press it again, turn it back on, and you've got your rear view there if you need it, or your CarPlay. Absolutely perfect. So to be honest, I'm pretty impressed with this, actually, this whole system. Like I said, if I wasn't testing other systems, I'd leave it in the car because I actually quite like it. I'll stick some links below to where you can buy this. As I said, it's super cheap. It does take a while to come because it's coming direct from China, so it does take a couple of weeks to come, but for that price, I think it's worth it. Like the video if you liked it. I've got some more stuff to do. I've got some dash cams and some more like CarPlay sort of stuff to do. I've got some more to do in the house, and I've got some more coming. So there's plenty of these type of videos coming up. In between those, I'll do some videos on my camper. I've got some work to do on the MR2 as well. So subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed, and I'll catch you guys again later. Cheers.